Your designs are often poetic, dark, surreal. What do they reflect for you, and how do you translate that world onto Instagram, where so many people follow you?
First of all, I'm really glad to the people who does follow during the years, because it's only thanks to clients and supporters that I can keep creating. So I don't know, I feel like every person who comes to my vision of work need to leave some deep emotion as well. I think you need to feel a relation to what I show you, because most of the time what I post, it's it's a sketchbook or it's a project that is available. So I always tell to the clients that they need to feel the same emotion or their own emotion into this. In the surrealistic things, there is, I see a frame in one way, you see the same frame in completely different way. So it's more like the power is to the person who read the art, not to the artist, my opinion. To define yourself artist, things that I will never do about me. I think that is the person need to say that you are an artist, not you, not yourself. Like you heard many times, I'm an artist, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, in your mind, maybe that is also okay, but I feel like it's the person, the viewer, the reader who need to put you into the position to be an artist and to see art in what you do. It's not because you say that you do art that someone read art.
That's correct.
So I really believe that no one need to rush anything, because maybe it's not the right moment to explode or to evolve. So I believe a lot that there is moments where you need to not have success, and there are moments where you feel that you need to show this idea because it will be successful. So it's I think it's a process, like in general, like life. It's based on the moment where you need to grow. You will grow if it's the moment. Of course, I try to push, the limits, the draw, the skills, but I don't want to reach some kind of people trying to give everything to reach those, VIP, if it's not the right time. They will ask when it's time. I feel like this, they will see you and they will see something in you that they can see anywhere else, and it could be eventually the good way to evolve. But if it's not the moment, it's not the moment. It's at least for me. Like I depend a lot about my mood. So, so it's it's really instinctive what I show to the people. It's there are moments where I don't draw completely for months because I feel like flat in terms of art. But because maybe I am happy in life, I am satisfied about relation, about where I live. I take a lot of vacation. There are maybe these moments, but I find more inspiration when you don't have any of this and you're like basically a bit lost. So at least I spend a lot of time into drawing when I have not better things to do, So it's this is really my opinion. It doesn't have to be like this for anyone. I even got inspired sometimes by the story they tell me in the mail, maybe they have some really struggle with in life. I think for some people to see themselves more tattooed, inked, it's a good therapy for them. Sometimes for me too, I tried so many years to cover myself, maybe also in my mind, because I don't like what I see, you know, so you try to cover. It could be also this, and there's nothing bad about it, in my opinion. So I had many friends that start to get cover face and everything because they were living a really hard moment, and they don't recognize their image anymore, and they dislike it in themselves. And the good way to hide it, it could be this. I always respect people who doesn't have any tattoos because they don't like it, which is correct. I mean, they don't need to push themselves to get a tattoo, and I also respect people who are completely covered in every part, in whatever way they want to be. You know, like.
When did you first realize that your style resonated not only in Padua but worldwide?
When I start to see the problems with my language, so I realized that I can speak English, and so 2 years after I started, 2-3 years, and I realized that some of my clients were not Italian, and I needed to use Google to write. I needed to ask friends to come with me to convention. So I tried to improve myself with some reading, but it's like I was never good in studying from books. So I start to watch Netflix. Also, as girlfriend spoke only English with me. So yeah, there was a support of learning, and I realized that my works were were start to be noticed outside of here, which was making me really proud. Because I saw that what they do is, it start to be nice, and start to be appreciated by others, and it gives you a lot of motivation to keep going. And imagine that I didn't have Instagram until someone made for me, because I was more into Facebook, you know, and Facebook was really locals, like people from Padova. And as I say before, I think it's a process. And if I maybe forced too much, it wouldn't been different. I think, as everything happened to give you motivation to continue. Recently, I also been to US, and I improved a bit my English. I will never try to speak, with a British accent. I don't have it. I don't want to hide it. You know, like, I don't want to hide it. I know I'm Italian, and I will stay Italian.
In Stockholm, you found silence, but also the pain of something ending. So how did that time change you as a man and as an artist?
The time in Stockholm was amazing from one side, and not bad. I don't want to say bad, but weird. Like, makes me really resonate with myself a lot, because I had too much free time, you know.
Yeah.
And I was starting to, as you said, start to get known in the socials. And at the same time, I started to see a lot of clients coming from abroad to let me free to do my own designs, which was really, and still is really nice to me. You know, it's my thing that you choose. It's not you tell me what to do. So it's really the best feeling. When I went there, of course, in the beginning, I had some clients which were mostly tattooers, because I was doing something honestly very different from them. They were really curious about it, the tattooers.
Yeah.
The clients were in that studio were more into the commercial thing, like even Viking things, because they were coming to get the memory of Stockholm. It's more like the Viking boat with the classic ornaments. At some point, you need to adapt if you wanna pay rent. So I did it because it was all new. But after a while, I basically disappeared from social, because there was my client asked me, when you come back, the studios where I had already guests, but when you come back, I just cut. I cut off the social. I didn't answer for a while, maybe months. And I started to be really depressed because I see the messages, but at the same time I just moved. I don't want to already, go back. And I start to resonate again about the Berlin experience. Like, is the failure again? Is the blah blah? Like you built like really good 3 years, and then you're gonna waste it. I was going every day to the place where she was working, because it was a spa. So I was like doing spa and relax, trying to relax. But at the same time, in the beginning, my paper and pen, and then after, because the Stockholm studio didn't even have a pen and things, everyone was into iPad, so I needed to learn to use Procreate or the iPad in general, which I'm still not able to use, so I learned only Procreate. I start to have a lot of time to try, blah, blah. So the new approach to the graphic tablet made me resonate in a graphic way. It helped me to create the next chapter. So I was doing another designs with I basically took a portrait and I cut it in this way, and I sign all the nose and the mouth things, and I put black on it, and then I leave the negative part.
Yeah.
So this was a chapter that made me introduce into the more figure way, not the ornaments only. So I was mixing the ornaments with these. So that was for me like a really game change time, because I approached a completely different style, because I needed to use a completely different tool to draw. So instead of being depressed or change again work or anything, you need to see that is a free time that you didn't have for the past 3 years, luckily, and you need to use it for something else. Then, of course, I get a lot of requests on the new style that I will start to showing, but only from tattooers in Sweden and from the rest of the world everywhere. So I was not understanding why in Stockholm no, and everywhere yes. So eventually I started to do again guest spots in Italy. I was working to make all the clients that I left back. I was working from 9 to midnight.
Okay.
7 days for 10 days, and I go back and I know that I don't do nothing, so it's okay. And there was moments where you wanted to make happy more clients and you just overbook the same time for 3 people. So I had a really stressful week, and then I go back to Sweden where I know that I will relax. And after a while, I just decided for me, it was not the right way to live, and I moved back to here, to Italy. For a year, I worked in another shop in 2017, and then I decided to open this studio. It was September 2018. I did already the page of the studio. I already told to the guys that I was leaving 6 months earlier. So I created pages. I asked to all the friends I met in the world to repost it, to reshare it. A lot of them did. So I'm really grateful for the support. And the studio started to be really big already before exist.
Yeah.
So we plan all the guests for the year later. It went really nice, way more than I expected. And I still feel like it's a really different kind of studio for Italy. And before this studio, there was not even guest spot in this country. So I'm happy to bring what I learned outside by my own experience to the country. Because now, of course, there are many guest spot studios, and it's way more easy to travel for every Italian. Yeah, I guess when you take risks, you can see the results. Also because you see that others are following the same direction. And you can also talk with them about how was it there, how was Germany, how was Poland, how was Spain, and blah, blah. And then you get to know a lot of people who also can join you here. So I did the studio for exactly for this reason.
What does the white whale mean to you? What makes this more than just a studio?
This studio I opened for share a beautiful job with friends. So I always wanted to create like a group instead of a workplace, because I always thought I need to spend many hours inside, and I want to do it with people I like, with people I can share something with, or different cultures. So I really love when there is a mix of cultures, because you can always learn everything. I'm really lucky to have these every day, because it makes you really open with your mind. Because the more things you see, the more your energies grow, and your possibilities too. And we share dinners, we share lunches and moments to draw together in the table that usually is here. So yeah, it's a share moment. It's not. I don't want that it's just a workplace. Yeah, it should be like a home where you talk with friends, and at the same time you do what you like. Of course, there are people who come just to work or to be shared in the social, but this is not my problem.
Online you look famous, but you as a person stays unseen. What's the mindset behind your approach?
I try my best to do it, but sometimes it's not a choice to be like this, but I feel like I don't like to show too much myself. First of all, I don't like my image. Second of all, I don't think that is the way I want to develop my tattoo career. I want that if I do something nice, it's work talking, not me.
It's your work.
I think that we have a potentially a really nice way to don't even talk with the cameras, but focus more on our own hands, skills, mind, problems that can give us creative mind. And as I told you before, I feel like now I see so many people complaining about I don't take an appointment, I need to do video like clowns. I don't think it's true. So I even got discussion about this, because they tell me, because you have followers. I have follower because I always did this way. I never
Yeah.
wanted to change because the market changed.
Yeah.
I take also the responsibilities of that because I should, maybe, but I don't feel like it's my own mind and soul to give this to the people because I think they will see that it's fake. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sell fake things. I want to sell what I am.
Yeah.
I disagree completely with the trend that tattooers does. You know, like look at the outfit and then show the design. The artist. Good, you can look good, but
Yeah.
what's the point? You
Yeah.
know, like what? So what? The client is
Well,
attracted to you. I don't see sense
in
in
the end,
this.
is the
So
result of your tattoo. Yeah.
yeah, I don't need you know, girls attracted or men attracted. I need people who feel the same way I feel,
Yeah.
and they let me free to create this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanna really say that if the guys the tattooers don't wanna do it because they don't feel comfortable in do the video talking and stuff, just don't.
Yeah.
Find another way. You know, there's always another way. There need to be something you really feel to do it,
Yeah.
because if not, I feel that the people see that.
Yeah.
I don't think that is because you see a trend, you need to do the trend.
Yeah. It's correct.
I don't do, and I will never.
We've seen your work on billboards all around the world. This must give you an amazing feeling.
Yeah, of course, it's really nice to see, you know, your own works in newspapers, magazines, even in like buildings of
Yeah.
New York and everything. But I'm really happy about this. It gives me a lot of motivation again to go. It's not for me essential, but I don't hide. It's really pleasant feeling to see your work everywhere, or at least to be able to do what you want to represent. Like you feel like your feelings is on someone else, and everyone is seeing that, and they can relate. So this is what makes me really happy. And also, of course, this is a nice publicity, which I hope gives more people to get tattooed the same vibe. There are, you know, even moments when I do everything, because I feel like I want to stay trained in everything, in the lettering, in the realistic, in the colors, in the mandalas, in the dot work, but I don't post it. Just you know, you do for the client, and it's okay. It's still a job, but of course I leave this day completely different. It's more like a technical school. You know, you wanna go back to the coil, you wanna go back to the rotary machines, and you take the time, like kind of for your own workshop for yourself. I still do, but I don't share it. There's no need. But yeah, mostly I also now recently took more free time to make other projects of life,
Yeah.
not just tattoo. I will go with the flow, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's. I don't have any rush. I don't have any specific timing at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I just take 2-3 days a week free to think and to enjoy what I have already.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have even the time to enjoy your things, you will never see that. No, because you are just. It's like if you are driving a nice car, but you are only driving it, and you never seen that. You know, like it's not the same.
It's a
feeling.
good mindset.
Yeah, you also like to see the results
Yeah.
of what you do.
Matteo, your designs are dark, poetic and full of emotion. Imagine you had to create one last tattoo, not for a client, but as a mirror for yourself. What would you draw to say this was me?
That's a really difficult question. Like,
It's the last one.
yeah, it's a lot. So because it's, I can say this answer today, which will be different from the answer tomorrow. So at the moment, what I feel like could be something, you know, like the best thing you do. It's a project I have available, actually, if anyone wants to get it. But it's more representing the phobias that I have, and I put this into a full body thing. And it's basically making like a huge portrait upside down with the name of the phobia here, and wings of a bird there, also upside down, also another upside down image, and also on the leg a project, but the leg are flowers that are instead coming up. So it's more like the balance between the phobias of being upside down, which is the one of these, and what is growing, you know, like flowers in terms of nice things. So try to basically fight the fears you have, the phobias you have, and live with them instead of being afraid about it. Use this fear for another purpose. It's a big project. Yeah, I like doing them.
Not one day.
No. It's at least 3-4 days project. At least, maybe 5.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yeah, 1 week project. Yeah.
So, Matteo, thank you very much for this great interview. I think we're gonna have a very good interview with you.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Thanks to you, and thank you for the setting.
Yeah.
To be, you know, like not seeing.
But it's your studio here, eh?
Yeah, it's my studio. Yeah. Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Thanks to all.
Sponsored by Richard Belgium.